believe our superintendent, Brian Kingsley, will lead us toward that.
We sure do, yes. So thank you. Good evening, everybody. It's great to be with you this evening. Our first recognition here will be to our CMEA 2023 Colorado Music Educators Association Hall of Fame inductees. Attending in support of this item are Melissa Flail, our teaching learning facilitator for music and the arts, Sharon Darland, and Sherry Meckelfresh. Welcome.
All right, and our guests of honor are coming in now. Welcome, everyone. If you'd like to go ahead and come on up to the lectern, I will turn it over to my colleague, Melissa, to be able to introduce our amazing colleagues this evening, and then we'll get underway with recognitions. And then we'll give just a moment for everyone to come in and squeeze along the back wall here, if you would. Or take a seat. If there are open seats, you are also welcome. Okay. All right, I think we're in a good spot. Melissa, if you want to take it away.
Good evening. My name is Melissa Flail, and I am the music facilitator for Poudre School District. And we are here tonight to recognize two amazing retired music educators who taught for decades in Poudre School District and have the distinct honor of having been inducted into the Colorado Music Educators Association Hall of Fame this year at the Clinic Conference in January. So we were able earlier in the year to recognize the teachers who took performing ensembles to the conference. But every year at the opening of the conference, they induct 2, maybe 3, just a very small number of Hall of Fame new members. And it's a significant honor. So tonight we are recognizing those two teachers. First, I want to recognize Sherry Meckelfresh, who has spent most of her career in Poudre School District, teaching largely at Beatty and then also at Bolts as choir director, musical theater, also was integral in starting the elementary honor choir for our district. Sherry is an amazing music educator. I have had the privilege to have her as a colleague when I taught at Lesher while she was at Bolts. I have also performed with her daughter at the Carousel Dinner Theater years ago. And Sherry has continued having a huge impact on young musicians in our town as the artistic director and director of 2 choirs at Centennial Children's Chorus. So Sherry is an amazing music educator, continues to do so even in retirement. And so if you would join me in recognizing Sherry Meckelfresh. And we also want to recognize our other Poudre School District retired music teacher, a choral director, primarily at Poudre High School, but also spent a year at Irish, Sharon Darland. She was at Poudre High School for a long time. I also was able to call her a colleague. We served together on the board of the Colorado chapter of the American Choral Directors Association. I sang with her daughter in a choir in Denver. So I'm so lucky to know these two, both personally and professionally. One of Sharon's crowning achievements at Poudre High School, along with great musicals and all kinds of other things, was the men's choir, which performed at CMEA numerous times. They came in before school to rehearse. There was also a women's choir that rehearsed at lunch, along with all of the curricular choirs. So Sharon is an amazing music educator, continues to mentor music teachers to stay involved in the community. And so if you would join me in congratulating Sharon Darland. And I know Sharon has just a couple of thank yous.
It takes a lot of people to help make other people successful. And that's what Poudre High School and Poudre School District did for me. And so there's just a little bit of time to thank other Poudre School District teachers that helped facilitate this whole award. First of all, thank you for having us tonight. It's great to be able to come and be able to talk about all these other people in front of you. I'm honored and humbled to receive the award from CMEA. Peggy Rosenkrantz, who was an educator quite a while ago here in the district, she nominated me. And everything that she did, it was a lot of work. And she's been retired, like I said, for a while, and she enjoys doing all this, gathering the letters, all the information. It's a huge task. So I said, Peggy, why did you do this? And she said, well, I'm a Hall of Fame member and I wanted to pay it forward. And that's the spirit of Poudre School District. When someone does well, we want everybody else to do well too. I have the privilege of being the third music educator from Poudre High School to receive the Hall of Fame Award. Bill Funky, I took his place in 1985. He recently passed away at 96 years old. A lot of people were impacted by him. And Glenn Shull, who's band director at Poudre High School. And they've preceded me. Also, Sandra Lunt, retired principal from Poudre High School, was the first CMEA honor administrator. And because of her work and because of her diligence with scheduling and making sure every kid had an opportunity to do music at Poudre, she was recognized for that. I have to mention Janet Von Farrell. She was my accompanist for 30 years. And daily with me for that long was definitely, I know, sometimes trying. Janet was the constant. Her dedication to students, her passion for music is really one of those things that says so much about having that extra person who's titled as a para or an assistant or an accompanist in your room all those years. So Janet, definitely one of the big successes of the program. Of course, the students were the foundation. Those kids who worked tirelessly all the time with rehearsals over and over again and everything. And at Poudre High School, if you were in one group, you usually were in more than one, just to kind of get everything filled out. It was a marvelous community and a great place to teach. The students, of course, and of course the parents that rode buses, set up fundraisers. Parents were integral to everything. My daughters were raised at Poudre High School. My 35-year-old, at 3 years old, I put her in the musical because I didn't have a babysitter. So it was just go out and walk out on stage and you'll be fine. And it just kind of happened for a while. And then my second daughter, who's now 41, she was also in that situation. And pretty soon the high school kids, after about 3 years of that, said, do we have to have kids in the musical anymore? Because we're babysitting backstage all the time. It's like, no, we can get over that. But my 35-year-old said something profound. She says, yeah, I was raised at Poudre High School. While my friends were at home watching Barney and Friends, I was at Poudre High School in the auditorium doing my homework, watching rehearsals of Guys and Dolls. It's like, yes, that is very, very true. My daughter's love and knowledge of music is accredited to wonderful Poudre School District teachers. Sherry McElfresh, Karen DeVries, Linda Hall, Casey Kropp, Corey Peterson, Bennett Stuckey, Larry Lashley, Chris Leonard. I was honored to work with these people over the years. And yeah, it was 35 years there. When people ask me, they go, how did you do one job for 35 years? And most of the time is that I don't know. It just kind of happened. But it was also to give kids an opportunity across the board to excel. And I was placed in a school where that was allowed to happen. Whether it was scheduling or whatever, I was given the ability to excel. And Poudre High School choirs continue to grow. David Lanowski is a former student, and he is also the current choir director. I've probably said too much, but I need to tell you this one story, and Sherry's already heard it. 2003, a time through there, when seniors graduated, they would make scrapbooks. And it was really cool. So I had this one young man that had been in men's choir, and the choirs forever, never showed one bit of expression in anything for 4 years. So I'm looking through the book, and there he has a quote. And I thought, oh, this is so cool. And it said, Miss Darland, we love you. Well, at least I do. Miss Darland, we think all the music you pick is really wonderful. Well, at least most of it. So what I want to say to teachers and everyone who works in the school, no matter what you do, and when you feel like nobody cares, nobody notices, there's always going to be that one kid that says, well, I do. Thanks.
And as always, thank you to our district leadership, our school board, our superintendent, the cabinet, for your support of the arts. It is very meaningful and really important, so thank you.
I don't think I'm going to work in the back. Yeah, probably not.
All right, so we have a group who will be coming in to the back here. We'll give them a few minutes to get settled before we start. Go ahead and come on in. Yeah, go ahead and come right up here. John, do you mind waving so they know where to stand? Put you on the spot. You just, oh, both. Both of you, John squared, please wave. Wow. For those of you who have joined us for recognitions or watched at home before, you may know that part of our tradition is being able to recognize some of our community partners who make the work and support of students possible. And we have so many of them that we are appreciative of and have built long relationships with, and others are new. Tonight, what we are doing is recognizing a few of many partners who have been part of what we call State of Our Youth efforts. So as you may have heard in various district communications or in this board space before, we are facing a mental health crisis in our community and our nation. Many of us have experienced that ourselves in this room or have loved ones, friends, colleagues who are going through challenges. It's a part of our life, always and now. And as part of State of Our Youth, it was our commitment to be able to listen to what students told us they need in terms of support of their mental health. Increased access to spaces of belonging, increased awareness of and access to mental health professionals and resources, reduction of stigma, and training in skills that they want specifically so that they can help manage their mental health and be advocates for one another and help those in need. So with that in mind, brought together literal hundreds of folks at the Museum of Discovery in January, centered around those 4 ideas, along with some of our incredible students to be able to say, how can we start to take action around an issue that we know has long persisted in our community? Right? Not just talk about it, but how do we move to action? And so tonight, we are recognizing again just a few of the many partners who have come to the table and helped us try to come up with creative solutions and think differently about how it is that we get to that action point and respond to student needs. Because they demand that of us and they deserve that. So this evening, we'd like to recognize those who have been part of what we would call our steering committee in helping to put these efforts together and guide the work now and in the years to come. And so if you would, as I call your name, if you'd go ahead and line up here, we'd love to recognize you. And then we'll take a photo at the end if that sounds good. All right. So we have Cheryl Zimlick from the Bohemian Foundation. We have Lori Stolen from Larimer County Behavioral Health. We have Dr. Erica Mikulski. She is a parent and community member. Laura Valdez from the Fort Collins Museum of Discovery. From Colorado State University's Marketing and Communications, Emily Seams. Tegan Camden from Summit Stone. We have Lisa Youngblade from the College of Health and Human Sciences from Colorado State University. And Rachel Olson from Imagine Zero and the Alliance for Suicide Prevention. And then if I could, I'd also like to welcome my colleagues Dwayne, Liz, and Sarah Mauder-Wilkins to join the group. There are many more people involved, but certainly they have played a big part.